so beautiful are their colors.
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Kansas City-born, Seattle-based jazz pianist Brittany Davis. We get into her new 2025 CD, Black Thunder, and a wonderful ride in the music. The project is a brilliant spiritual jazz record with a compelling backstory. Musically, it falls within the lineage of artists like Nina Simone, Roberta Flack, and Rahsaan Roland Kirk. The music and lyrics were completely improvised and recorded live in the studio in a 48-hour window with Brittany on grand piano, backed by the Seattle-based rhythm section of Evan Flory-Barnes on bass and Devon Lewis on the drums. Brittany has been blind since birth. She was born to a broken family in Kansas City, while she later relocated to Seattle to live with her grandmother. Her insights are brilliant. She's had a wonderful career. Enjoy this interview. It's great to hook up. I'm looking forward to getting into the new album, Black Thunder, your very interesting life and music. So again, it's an honor. Thank you for taking a minute out.
Absolutely. I'm so excited.
I am too. So before we get into Black Thunder, I got to know, 5 years ago, this pandemic was roaring. It changed so many itineraries and the way that people did music. How did you survive the global pandemic, and how has it influenced what you do today?
Well, my survival methods has a lot to do with prayer. I prayed a lot, which is I guess a lot of people meditated. I prayed a lot and played a lot, um, which is why I'm thinking about doing something called pray and play, because that's what literally got me through, and it really helped me understand how I do music, because it's always been a natural thing to me to do music and to play it and to create it and listen to it. But now I realize it's a way of life for me. It's not just a craft or something I do to make ends meet. It's really something that I've come to need, like oxygen. Like I need it.
Yeah,
It's the air I breathe. So, that's how I survived the pandemic, just praying and playing.
I dig it. So let's get into the new album, Black Thunder. Talk to me a little bit. It was all done live. Talk
Yes.
to me a little bit about how you went into the studio and how you wanted to put this together.
So I went into the studio, and honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was putting together. I did not know that Black Thunder was going to become a thing. It happened so spontaneously. I don't even know how to say how it started, because it was just myself and the drummer Devon Lewis in the studio at first. And we were just playing around for a day, noodling around, and I was actually like, moving with his percussion elements, his percussive elements, and he's got really strong roots here in Seattle, in the jazz community. So I'm just moving along with his vibration, and just like all of these poems and messages and songs are coming out of me like left, right, left, right. And the first day was so tasty. I guess the engineer, our producer, Josh Evans, was like, let's get another guy in here. And then that's how Evan Flory-Barnes came into the picture on bass. And that was day two. And like, it went on from there. Literally, it evolved into something way more in depth and way more, intricate than any of us ever could have thought. And it really gave a lot of definition to what it means to be improvisational, because I didn't know that it would be considered jazz, but the way that it felt was jazz in the sense of like the soulfulness of it, the depth of it. But the sound of it, when I really sat back and listened to it, it really did hit on a jazz note for me. It just gave me that flavor, those old kind of blue flavors that I just love so much.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Well, honestly, I hope that the listener gets whatever they need to get. Whatever their heart desires, and the freedoms that come with being a full bodied human, a fully conscious being, whatever that is, for whoever that is. I pray that they get that and that they are able to launch to the stars and see beyond themselves and really reach for the depths of who they are in this album, because that's what I did. And I didn't know that I was going to do that. I did not know that Black Thunder was going to be an album. It was all improv. And so I think, but but that's just life. We often don't really know what's going to happen. We can kind of have plans or a framework. The plan was go in and have fun. But what we came out with was way more than fun. It was fact, and it was fiction, it was fantasy, it's something that could be forever. And so, just doing that and feeling that way about performing the tracks, I hope that the listener gets that too. Like, oh yeah, we can have this plan, but yeah, let's build upon that. Let's make it even more beautiful.
But that's the idea of jazz, is that at the root of it, the backbone of it is improv. The canvas is blank. You go in, and if it goes somewhere else, like what happened with you without knowing it was going to become an actual album, that's kind of the carpe diem. That's the moment.
Yes, that's so true. That's so real.
That's it. So, Kansas City, Missouri, that's where it all began before you went to Seattle with your grandmother. Talk to me about your memories of Kansas City.
My memories of Kansas City, they're kind of deep memories. There's some pretty core memories that I don't know how to Englishify yet. That's not a word, so don't look it
No, I
up.
like it. I'm glad you did that.
Um, but I remember. I'll tell you in colors. I'll tell you in emotional color what Kansas City represented. It represented the birthplace of what it means to overcome loss, what it means to smile on a rainy day, what it means to feel the spaces between your heartbeats and know that life is still within you, though you're facing things that are dying or withering or are coming apart. I grew up with my grandmother, my mother, who spent 10 years incarcerated from the eight. When I was only 3 years old, she was incarcerated up until I was age 13. But by the time of her release, my father had been murdered when I was 12. And it really changed the way I saw living life, the actual experience of life. In Kansas City, like, I didn't have a big music community. It's not that I didn't know people, but I didn't have people. It's a different thing. I don't know how to explain it. But being a blind child, growing up in the inner city, it wasn't really safe for me to explore and go to the record shop and hear these sounds and be introduced to all of this stuff. So a lot of the stuff that I heard was coming directly from the ether, from my head, from the inner colors of my emotions, from the deep places. And so it's hard to really like remember Kansas City for what it did for me sonically, but I remember emotionally what it did, and that developed me sonically. If that makes any sense at all.
No, I love the way that you describe that, because I think you're tapping in to a very human element about the way people feel this reality, and they definitely feel it. Like when you were talking about that, like when I think about my childhood, it's all really rooted in how emotionally those vibrations made me feel, because when you're young, at a preternatural notion of brain development, you feel things in a way that's totally different than reporting it like a reporter by saying who, what, when, where, why, how. When you're a
Right.
kid or you're growing up somewhere, you feel it different. It's why this smelling a perfume or a good meal will do something to your olfactory that's almost indescribable.
Right. Yes.
So I totally get it. I appreciate that description. So talk to me a little bit about leaving Kansas City and getting to your new home of Seattle. What was that like?
Leaving Kansas City. Well, I left with my mom, who was freshly released from prison, and she wanted a change. She wanted a new start. So I felt a lot of new start energy. Music was starting to be produced in 120, so everything was upbeat. You know, I got a feeling, you know what I'm saying? The night, and I remember just that big boo, 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 and just this feeling of just change, 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 and everything I felt was just like riveted to this circuit board of just like memories of having Kansas City with me, the pain and the triumphs and the victories and everything, and just taking that little circuit board and building new culture on top of that. And I remember living in this little apartment with my mom and her friend that she had at the time, and then they fell out. We almost lost it all again. But we stayed here. But I ended up moving almost 100 times during my high school career. I not exaggerating. Living in hotels, living out of trash bags, playing music in random places, on the corners with keyboards that have broken keys. You know, making money, raising money for other causes, experiencing like you know different perspectives of life and interpreting different like you know, sounds that life can bring me because I live right across the street from Studio Litho my whole life, like my whole senior year, and didn't even know it. Right there, and so I was in the thick of things and didn't know I was. And that's another part about being blind too. It's just being in the thick of things and not having the skill set to explore because when you're developing like I said, that inner city life, you don't really get out and explore. So I didn't have these skills that I needed to be able to really digest the newness of the situation that I was in. So again, I was feeling the energy of being in a new place, restarting, remodeling, re it was a new modality of existence, but I wasn't fully able to construct fullness of who I was in that situation. But I was definitely having a great time listening to others move and shape and switch and push and all these different things. It was cool.
So let me ask you this. Was it always music for you? Was that always your dream? Or how did this career begin, take hold, and evolve into who you are today?
Oh yes. I honestly I don't know what I would have been doing if it wasn't music. And that's not because I know it can get me somewhere or I can make a career out of it, but because it is just me. I don't know how to be or do or feel from any other spectrum of existence or any other medium of expression other than music or creativity itself. That's the art of it. The root of everything for me is music. I say music is my first language and then English. But it's just hours and hours of sound and it has to be, I have to feel it. I don't know. It has to be something that I feel deep in my soul. I can't do these all like headphone weirdness. I need a whole system. I got to hear dang near how they tune the drum head. Like I gotta hear it. I gotta feel it. Because that is my color. And I did not know that it was going to be a music career. I just knew it was going to be music. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. So after all of this time of loving and creating music, what gets you up every day? What do you like the best about being a professional musician?
What do I like the best about being a professional musician? I like spending time with people. I love when my music connects with a person on such a level that it brings them to me and I can talk to them and really actually, I like talking to people. I like to give insight and receive insight. And I like that push and pull because in the societal context of today, we're not getting that push and pull conversational element. Even in the rhythm of life, it's almost like we're just trying to sell something. If you have 50,000 followers, then I I am sold on the fact that you're worth my time versus actually sitting in a room talking to someone and developing a rapport and an understanding of who they are on a complex level. Um and really getting into the space of um just manifesting conversational elements to life with them. And so that's my favorite part about being a musician is that I can not only do that on the stage, but people want to talk to somebody that they feel like they connected with on such an intimate level. So I'm just like, my music is like love, baby. It spreads all around. It'll get down in your soul. It'll hip check you. You get in the it'll hip check you. You get in the way of it. But if you really want to come in and enjoy it, I'm telling you, this is real surgery. This is operation. This is medicine. I'm not making music for people to consume. I'm making music for people to heal. And so that's my favorite part about being a musician is that I can be either a stop on someone's journey or I could be a place where they can rest from a journey that they've come from. And I am grateful for that.
So
I love
let's
that every day.
absolutely. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into that high school version of you that's on about the 50th move during that time period, and you could give advice or say something to that young version of you based on this life you've led, the accomplishments you've achieved, the evolution as a human being. What would you tell that young version of you?
Man, if I could talk to her, I would hug her so tight and tell her, please, 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 don't eat that many cupcakes. No, I'm just joking. But I would really want her to know that her future is not brighter, but bigger. It's bigger than this. All of the things that she wanted, I now have. All of the places she wanted to go, I have now been. And there's places we didn't even know we were gonna go, and I've gone.
Yeah.
And it's not emotional, but for her it would be because I would show her literally all the things that we've done. I'm like, prepare your body, mind, and spirit for this, and give her little glimpses of transmusical and you know what I'm saying. We're drinking cognac in real cognac.
Yeah.
Like we're right in cognac, drinking cognac. Whoever would have thought that happened? One of the things that I do as a sighted person, I say I'm a sighted person because I have vision, not because I have sight of the eye. I take those moments to look back, and I actually do. I record those moments, just like you said, where I would look at that person that I was in the eye and say, this is your future. Look at this. Can you believe we have a home studio that most people dream of? And then on top of that, we have a real studio, a big studio where other people can go and record. This is no joke. Like, we are actually ascending a ladder that we didn't know we could ascend. So That's what I would tell her. Like, this future of yours is way bigger than the moment that you have right now. And prepare your mind and body for this.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Why do you love this music that we call jazz?
I love this music that we call jazz because it is marinated in what it means to be a living being. It is marinated in what it means to be a living being. There's no discussion. There's no interpretation. There's no curtain call for the forces of nature that we know of but jazz. Jazz is that curtain call. It reaches the elemental space, not just the performance space, but an intrinsic space, a place that what it means to have is actually more what it means to give. And that's jazz, baby. It fills you up to the brim and then you overflow.
So let's take this one step further. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, everyone that you work with, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am the doorway to an infinite spectrum of sound.
Wow.
I'm a sonic compass. I take it all the way. I take it all the way to the places that most people would say that's creepy, that's weird. Yeah, I take it all the way because that's what we're missing. We're missing the impact statement of humanity when we depend on what we see with our eyes first.
Wow. That's amazing. So if anyone wants to pick up the album, the brand new album Black Thunder, or see you live, any of your previous work, any of the good business, where do they go?
Brittany Davis Music.net. Brittany Davis Music.net. That is my website, and we are building it. It's getting bigger, brighter, better every day. We're keeping our shows updated, deleting shows, doing all kind of stuff that we've done in the past. I'm really excited that we've got a band camp right now. You can go there now and order or pre-order Black Thunder. You can go there and pre-order the singles, merch. We're getting merch up. So Brittany Davis Music on anything social media related and BrittanyDavisMusic.net. You can find it anywhere. You can stream our singles, Black Amid the Blackout of the Night. Um, Sun and the Moon is out. Dance I Say is out. Yeah, like we've got it. We got a pretty good coverage reel right now, and I'm so blessed for that. So go check it out. Get fed, stay open. You know.
I love it. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes. Brittany, this has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for your energy, being raw, your story. Best of luck with the release and everything else. It's been delightful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And before you go, I got a quick question. Do you know the musician Matthew Whitaker?
Oh, that's my brother.
Oh, I love that.
Listen. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a whole nother interview. Okay, stop the tape because we're gonna end up talking for 10 more hours.
Man,
That man can play the socks and shoes off an organ.
that
He
man, this is the thing. I saw him at the Folly here in Kansas City a year ago. Now I interviewed him years back before he had a 60 Minutes feature, and I didn't realize how much of a prodigy. I just didn't realize how magnanimous he was. And of course, during the interview, it was pure light. But I'll tell you the thing that's wonderful. It's like he was channeling Stevie Wonder in that show. He had a Rhodes behind him, a piano in front of him. The light that man emits, the absolute spirit that's just never going to be dented by this world, is the thing that's the most stellar about his existence.
He's incredible. Dude, that man, I ain't trying to put his business all on the air like that, but he's actually a miracle. He's
He
not
is.
only a prodigy, he's actually a miracle.
He is.
Check him out too, Matthew Whitaker. Get on that. Oh my gosh, that man. Woo.
Crazy. Every time I talk to people, they may have heard him, but I've never talked to anybody. I'm so glad that you did that understand what this man is. And for you to put it in those words, he is a miracle. He is an absolute beacon of light in this world that needs it so badly. He shines in a way and I met him after the show and took a picture, and just being around and seeing how he rolled, it was crazy. He's unreal.
I got the pleasure of seeing him here in Seattle, Washington at Jazz Alley. And that's the first time I met him. Him and I talk on the phone for hours sometimes, just laughing,
Wow.
joking, trading riffs. He's like, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna do this drum part. Okay, let me do it like this. The next thing you know, it's like a whole song, and this man is just gone. I'm like, what am I witnessing right now?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Well, I'm so glad I found a kindred spirit that gets him. So
I'm about to call him right now. You got me, girl. I'm about to call him.
please do. And you're amazing, Brittany. Your answers, your verbal vernacular, your talent, who you are, what you evolved to. This is why we're on this planet. So thank you for who you are and giving me your story today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview. We'll give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in Seattle, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Brittany for brilliance and time. If you want to hear more Neon Jazz interviews, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to theneonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Trying to cover you up. Why? So beautiful.
Hey jazz fans, Joe Domino here, the host of the weekly Neon Jazz radio show and regular interview series being produced and distributed from Lee Summit, Missouri. We are very excited to let you know about the second annual Lee Summit Jazz Festival taking place again this summer on June 28th at the Bridge Space, located at 210 Southwest Market Street in downtown Lee Summit. Following the success of the 2024 festival, the lineup will include Lee Summit students, KC Area Youth Jazz, Paganova with Michael Pagan, Horoscope with Stan Kessler, Brad Gregory, Adam Larson, and the Lee Summit Jazz Orchestra. There will also be food trucks and vendors to round out a day of celebration. Early bird tickets are 2 for $30, and all details can be found at lsjazzfest.com. We can't wait to see you there.